Hi and welcome back. Today I'm going to address a very important question that comes to Indian students' mind when they come to study in Europe. The most important question is whether to go for a 1 year program or a 2 year program. Even more important is what is M1 and what is M2? Because in India we have 2 year programs, in US we have 2 year programs, in most of the countries the conventional master's degrees are always 2 years. However, in Europe you have the option of going for 1 or 2 year programs. Now, sometimes they are called M1, sometimes they are called M2. So, what is the difference? Let's try to understand on this whiteboard. Let me know if you're not able to see, I'll make another video. Alright, so this is M1 and this is M2. Now, what is M1 and M2? It's just like an MBA or a master's degree in India where you study for 2 years. So, technically, the first year is known as M1 and the second year is known as M2. Now, who's eligible for M1 and who's eligible for M2 and what do they actually teach in M1 and M2? So, M1 is basically fundamentals. So, basically, let's say if somebody does not have any idea or no basic knowledge of the subject that they are going to study. For example, if I am a BCA background student having studied computer applications and I want to study economics or commerce, I have no idea about that. I should be going for fundamentals. That is basically going for M1. Okay? Now, what is M2? M2 is specialization. That means if I already have a fundamental knowledge of the management or the subject that I'm going to study, I should be going for a specialization year. And this is the year that most of the international students go for in Europe. And that's why it's called 1 year master's degree. Now, let me clarify one more thing. It is not just the fundamentals on the basis of which you can decide whether you should be going for M1 or M2. It also depends on the duration of your education, whether have you gone for 15 years or 16 years of education. So let's say how that works out. Okay, now there are two kinds of bachelor's degrees. One is 3 year and one is 4 year. So let's say if you have done a BCA or BCom, which is 3 years, and then you have done maybe somebody else called BTech or BE, which is for 4 years. That means if you have gone for this, you have 15 years of education, 12 plus 3 from school, 12 from school and 3 of course from graduation. That makes it 15 years. But if you have gone for 4 years, technically you have studied for 16 years. Now, here's the magic. Anybody who has studied for 3 years goes for M1. Anyone who has a 4-year degree goes for M2. That means if you are an engineer or if you have a BTech degree or if you have a 4 years degree, you should be going for M2. However, for other students, of course, who don't have a 4 years degree, they just have a 3 years degree, they can go for directly M1 and then they study 2 years. So technically M1 is not a diploma, it's a certificate, and this is a degree. That means you need to have M2 to be able enough to call yourself a master's graduate. You don't become a graduate in M1, you have to study for both of the years. Okay, now there's one more thing which I'd like to tell you, the duration of these programs. So M1 is basically 2 semesters, okay, 4 months each or 3 months each, and M2 is basically 3 semesters, which is 4 into 3. That means 12 to 15 months. Okay, now what happens in these semesters? Let's talk about somebody who's going to study M2. Okay, so if you're going for M2, it's a 12 to 16 months program, 1, 2, 3 semesters. If you're going for in the first semester, you'll be studying. In the second semester, you'll be studying in the classroom. However, in the third semester, you do an internship or a thesis or a consulting project or a pro-act or I don't know what, but basically you do not study in the classroom. So technically you only study for 2 semesters, that is 8 to 9 months, followed by a consulting project, a pro-act or an internship. Now there are certain universities in Europe which also allow you to do a full-time job instead of an internship. For example, my alma mater, Kedge Business School, I went in 2015, I studied first semester, I had a BTech degree, so of course I was eligible for M2, but also I had work experience. So I went for M2, I studied in the first semester, second semester, in the third semester, I did a full-time job because I had a full-time job. So that's what I said, certain universities allow you to do a full-time job instead of an internship. Your visa would be taken care of, don't worry about that. Anyway, so I think you have a clear idea of M1, M2 now. Summarizing it again, M1 is basically for 3-year degree holders, M2 is basically for 4-year degree holders. However, certain universities in certain cases also allow 3-year graduates to go to M2 if they can portray that they have fundamental knowledge of business management already, or whatever subject that they are going to study. Okay, but usually if you're a fresher, you don't have any work experience, 3 years M1, 4 years M2, but if you have work experience with 3 years, you can directly go to M2. But I'll tell you the trick. Even if you're a 3-year undergraduate degree holder, you should always apply to M2. I mean, it depends on you whether you want to study for 2 years or 1 year, but here are the advantages of 1 year. Number 1, duration. Okay. Number 2, low cost. And number 3, jobs. You go back to job much earlier compared to a 2-year program. So I think this was very helpful for you. Now you understand what is M1, what is M2, who is eligible for M1, M2, what are the kind of programs that they have in M1, M2, how can you actually apply, what is the duration, how many semesters are there, what semester is known for what. Alright, thank you so much, have a great day, and stay hungry, and I'll come back with more videos. Bye.